Today we're here in the high mountain desert of the Sierra Madres looking for a good place to collect IMO, and it's a pretty neatly kept yard. I'm having a little trouble, but this corner looks intriguing. There's some fallen branches and some fallen vegetative matter down here. It hasn't rained in 3 months, so everything's really dry. So all the microbes are going to be dormant, but we're going to collect them and bring them back to life. I think this is where we'll get them from. There's another possible collection site up against the house where it doesn't get weeded a lot. It's got a lot of grass fall. I don't know, the other site might look better to me. Here's another corner, possible site. It has some vegetative leaf blowover besides just the grass. It's soft and friable.
I lacked proper tools and materials. This is all I could find. A woven basket with green dye and an old torn tea towel. Rice was falling out of the bottom, so I had to tie the tea towel over the top and the bottom of the basket. And I found some old towels to help protect it. The collection rice looked a little dry. That might be a problem. The first step is to dig down a little bit into the soil. Note, I should have moistened the soil first, but I didn't. I piled the leaf mold on top of the collection basket. Then covered everything with more old towels to prevent it from drying out. So, our little baby IMO box is 24 hours old. It's just now starting to rain a little bit. It was raining when we put it out yesterday, but didn't rain much, and so we gave it some water this morning. It's been a hot sunny day. Let's see if it's still wet. Yeah, the towels are still damp. We don't want to disturb the honeymoon, so we're not going to open it up. All looks well. We are trying to gather some IMO. High desert, midsummer. It's only a few days past summer solstice. It rained 2 days before we put out the IMO, and it rained last afternoon, late afternoon, when I was putting out the collection box. It didn't rain hard, but I'm worried about the moisture. And we're not going to open it up, but we need to add some moisture. Just to clarify, I poured the water on the edges of the box, not on the box, but I did let it splash on the towel. I separately made sure that the towel was damp. So I put some moisture on the towel that's covering up leaf mold, and we're going to put a couple of extra towels on top to try and retain the humidity in there, protect it from the heat. We'll see how it goes. So this is the third morning for the IMO. We got some rain again last night, although yesterday was pretty hot again. Grass is still wet. Here's our lunchbox. It's been 2.5 days. This is the third morning. I was thinking it would take about 3 days to be ready. collection's always better in the morning, so we're going to feel its temperature. Yeah, it's still nice and damp. No, it's not hot yet. So we'll check it tomorrow morning. This is the 5th day. It was just starting to get warm yesterday. Now the towels are drying out. This is still damp.
And it's warm underneath. I'm checking the temperature. You're not supposed to peek inside. It's supposed to be like peeking in on a couple on their honeymoon. I think we're ready. It's warm.
Now this fell down and touched the rice. That's not good. That creates anaerobic pockets. Hopefully we'll be okay. Let's see what we got. I can smell it already. I've been a little bit worried. The rice was a little on the dry side. We're in the high desert. It's really dry here. It gets really hot during the day, about 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Now we check it first thing in the morning because just like other ecology, microbes undergo a succession. So the colonization of rice is like the primary succession, and we want to capture the primary succession.
And for whatever reason, the ecology with this system seems to peak in the morning.
And we waited too long. We waited too long. We should have taken it yesterday. Hello, Mr. Cockroach. Having a good meal? We've got some sporulation with the dark. Tiny bit of pink. This is where the surface was covered, but it's not a good collection, but it's usable. Let's take it in and open it up.
The colors aren't ideal. It should be fluffy white. It's got a good cake structure though. But there's wet spots and dry rice, so it wasn't set up correctly. The colors aren't good, but they're not terrible. It's important to work the IMO up right away for storage. You can see here it's got dry spots and wet spots, not ideal. So we add some sugar, some raw sugar, and start working that in. You can see it gets pretty gooey. Then I put it into a jar. I was using a half-gallon jar and it was too big, so I had to transfer it to a smaller jar. Much better. Nice head space. Not too much air. And here's the sugar cap. Just a little sprinkle on the top. Okay, we brought in this collection of IMO 4 days ago. Still see some bubbles. Okay, what happened there, the sugar cap dried out and crusted over so that no gas could escape. We don't want that. We want it to breathe so it can go into dormancy. I put on too much sugar for the sugar cap. I'm used to rainforest climate, so I added more sugar than needs to be added in a dry climate. You're just adding a little sugar to keep it from molding on the top. But our problems aren't over. I started out using paper. I don't like using paper. This is why. Cloth is much better. Hi, my name is Sherry and I've been a natural farmer all of my life, and I've been a Master Cho certified instructor since 2010, 11, and you see videos online about how to make the perfect inputs for Korean natural farming KNF. What you don't see is what to do when things aren't perfect or things go wrong, and that's what I'm trying to do in this series. I'm doing a series of challenges where an input was particularly hard to collect or to make, And in this video, we've talked about an IMO collection that was particularly difficult. Let's do a little troubleshooting. I made myself a little list. We're in the high desert. It's hot and dry. I can't change where it is. I can't change the climate. I collected in the middle of summer. I could have collected in the spring. In the spring, I was having major surgery, so that wasn't possible. So that pushed it into the middle of the summer. And one of the biggest problems was the collection was too dry. I made the rice too dry. It was the wrong kind of rice. It wasn't Calrose, so it didn't work as well. I was unfamiliar with the pot and the stove, so I could have done better with the rice.
Another major flaw was not having enough rice in the basket. It should be 2/3 full of rice and 1/3 air.
And the ground was really dry. I was lulled into a false sense of moisture with the little bit of rain that we got during this period. The little mists that we got, they kind of looked like rain, but it wasn't enough to really dampen much more than the surface. And I should have deep soaked the area where I collected a couple of days before I collected. But like I say, I was lulled into a false sense of moisture because of the rain. The homeowner has a well that he fills this water tank with. He set up the yard in 4 sections. Each section has a berm, and each section is laser leveled so that he can flood irrigate. Let me show you something. He measured exactly how much he needed to flood irrigate each quadrant of his yard. What he didn't take into consideration was evaporation. So he had to add this second water tower, which is almost as big, to compensate for the evaporation. That's how much water evaporates in the desert. Another problem I had was the cloth it fell down onto the rice, and that means it can't breathe because it's got something directly on the rice. So I tried it again, and I used what I had. I found some twine and I wrapped it around the basket, and that was able to hold up the cloth better. And probably my biggest mistake was on the 4th day in the afternoon, when it was exactly 4 days old, it started to feel warm, and I didn't collect it because it's been shown that the collections usually peak in the morning. And so I waited till morning, and I waited too long. I should have harvested it right when I first felt the heat. Because it's summer, everything's progressing quickly. Had it been cold weather, I might have gotten away with that, but in the heat of the summer, I should have collected when I first felt the heat. So if you are collecting in a warm climate or the hot time of year, check it more than once when you know it's going to be ready, and collect it as soon as you feel that heat from the bottom. So you have a better collection than I did. So I'm going to do more videos like this, show you how to troubleshoot problems, and I hope you'll join me. Peace.